So one of the questions I get most often is, how did I invent the Guardian gloves, our level 5 cut resistant patrol gloves that cops all over the world are using? And it's simple. I got tired of using gloves on duty that were not meant for cops, that just sucked. I was using baseball batters gloves, football wide receivers gloves, all kinds of different gloves, but there was nothing specifically for cops that was going to help protect their hands. I was using those gloves because they offered good dexterity. So I wasn't, having a problem if I need to draw my weapon or anything else. So for that aspect, those baseball batters gloves were good. They were nice and thin. They had a little bit of a leather palm. Backing was kind of a fabric, and they were thin and comfortable. However, I knew they offered zero protection. So if I were to come across something sharp or someone with a knife or anything like that, you're on the scene of a wreck and there's sharp metal from the car being mangled, these gloves would protect against nothing. And I found out the hard way during these incidents because the gloves would tear, and then I have to go to Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever and get another pair of these gloves. So I was going through them really fast. The other thing was, these gloves were meant for sports players. They weren't meant for the rigors of the job as a police officer, which every time I got out of the car, I was putting these gloves on, and they would only last a couple of months before they started to break down. The stitching would break down, the fingers would blow out the end, and I just got tired of it. I tried some of the other tactical gloves from some of the other tactical brands, and they fell apart too. They were the same way. I just got tired of it, guys. I got sick and tired of it. So I said, I'm going to develop a pair of gloves that is really good with dexterity, offers good protection, actual protection of your hands, and is not going to fall apart. They're going to last. And so I went to the drawing board and I decided the main thing I wanted was cut resistance. A lot of the cut resistant gloves out there, they were so thick you couldn't even bend your fingers when you put them on. And what's the point of having these on? You couldn't do anything. So I tried them, but I found myself not wanting to wear them because when I wore them, I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't pat someone down. I couldn't do anything. I said, these are horrible. So that was the goal. A pair of gloves that offered good dexterity so I could be confident drawing my weapon if need be, doing pat downs, and also they protect my hands for basic patrol duties and activities. And I developed the Guardian gloves. They have the big thing I put on the back of the hand was injection molded rubber, which was very flexible, but it also offered great impact protection, which was important to protect the back of the hand. So with those other athletic gloves, they didn't have that, right? Because, you don't really need that as a baseball player. So I added that, right? So that was one thing. On the inside, I put a full level 5 cut protection liner, and this offered me that security that if I came across something sharp, even someone with a knife or anything like that, because you go on these domestic calls, right, and you'd see someone's angry and there's damage and property damage, so you're going into this house and maybe there's someone in the kitchen or something like that, and I would just put my regular patrol gloves on, and I realized that if I entered a situation with someone who had a knife or a blade or anything like that, or there's broken glass, I'm done, right? These gloves are not going to give me any protection. So that's the thing that I wanted to focus on, cut protection. So that's why I put that level 5 cut resistant liner, 360 degrees inside the glove, so you were protected on the back of the hand as well, which was important. Because sometimes when you go like this to block someone coming at you with a blade or something, they're going to get you here, and if it's on the back of the hand, you have no protection there. What's the point? So these are all the things I thought about, and a lot of this came from real world situations that happened to me on the job. Getting my gloves torn and getting my hand cut on a wreck of a motor vehicle stop. It was an overturned vehicle. Different situations where we had, entry that was made into a home and there's glass there, and now you got to kind of get through that. It was just, it was a slew of incidents that occurred in real life with me during my 13 years on patrol that led to all the little details you see in these gloves. They have the touch screen on them. Sometimes on these calls, there's a lot going on and you need to call a supervisor. Okay, so I didn't want to have to take my gloves off to call a supervisor from my cell phone because things were still actively going. So, and of course, you want to make sure that you have the dexterity to kind of feel small things when you're doing a pat down and you're doing a search. So that's what led to the Guardian gloves. And I think that is why they took off and became one of the best-selling tactical gloves for police officers around the world, because I actually just incorporated into those gloves all the things that not only myself but all my coworkers were dealing with every single day on patrol. And what they ultimately wanted, it was all in one glove, all in one format, dexterity, cut protection, impact protection, touchscreen fingertips, the whole nine. So, and you know, you want it to be in a sleek looking format, right? You don't want these gloves that look bulky and look like crap. You don't, you know, you're not going to look squared away. So I wanted to make them clean looking as well. And you also have to be careful because a lot of agencies don't want you wearing anything that looks too intimidating. So kind of gave them a nice look where they're not going to be intimidating, right? God forbid we intimidate the bad guys and the criminals or the people that are trying to hurt us. But I took even that into consideration as well. So that is the story behind the development of the Guardian gloves. And now we have the Guardian Gloves Pro, which are the newest edition of these gloves. And of course, they keep selling out over and over again. A lot of you guys always complaining, hey, every time I go to the website, they're sold out. Sorry, we're doing our best to keep up, but they are continually selling out for a reason. And it's because of the concerns that they take care of for police officers and first responders out there. So we got a ton of, we got paramedics wearing them, we got firefighters wearing them. I mean, all private security, you name it. So we'll drop the link below if you want to check them out. And if you have any comments or questions about them, let us know. Also, if you own the Guardian Gloves or the Guardian Gloves Pro and you want to throw down below some of what your likes are and even dislikes, right? Because we're always looking to improve. Let us know below. All right, that's the story. Thanks for watching.